The Life of King Solomon, a Biblical Story. Early life and rise to the throne. Solomon was the son of King David and Bathsheba. Before David's death, he promised Bathsheba that Solomon would be his successor to the throne of Israel. This decision, however, was not without contention. David had other sons, including Adonijah, who tried to seize the throne for himself. In the opening chapters of the first book of Kings, the prophet Nathan and Bathsheba intervened with David, reminding him of his promise. In response, David officially declared Solomon as king, and Solomon was anointed by the priest Zadok and the prophet Nathan, securing his kingship over Israel. Solomon's wisdom. Early in Solomon's reign, God appeared to him in a dream at Gibeon and offered to grant him anything he desired. Instead of asking for wealth or power, Solomon requested wisdom to govern his people well. This request pleased God greatly, and he granted Solomon unparalleled wisdom, along with wealth, honor, and a long life, provided Solomon would remain faithful to God. One of the most famous examples of Solomon's wisdom is the story of two women who came to him, each claiming to be the mother of the same baby. Solomon proposed to cut the baby in half and give each woman half. The true mother immediately begged him to spare the child's life, even if it meant giving him to the other woman, revealing her identity. Solomon's wise judgment amazed the people of Israel. The building of the temple. One of Solomon's greatest accomplishments was building the temple in Jerusalem. David had long desired to build a permanent house for God, but because he had been a man of war, God decreed that his son would be the one to build it. Solomon took up the task during his reign. With the assistance of skilled laborers and resources from neighboring kingdoms, such as those from King Hiram of Tyre, Solomon constructed a magnificent temple. It took 7 years to complete. When it was finished, Solomon dedicated the temple to the Lord with a grand ceremony, offering sacrifices and praying for God's continued blessing over Israel. The temple was seen as the dwelling place of God among his people and became the center of Jewish worship. Solomon's wealth and power. As Solomon's wisdom spread throughout the region, his fame grew, and leaders from other nations visited him, bringing gifts and seeking his counsel. The Queen of Sheba is one such notable visitor. She traveled to Jerusalem to test Solomon's wisdom with difficult questions. Satisfied with his answers and impressed by his wealth and the grandeur of his court, she praised Solomon and blessed the God of Israel. Under Solomon's rule, Israel experienced great prosperity. Solomon expanded trade, built alliances with neighboring nations, and developed a powerful military. His wealth was immense, and he lived in luxury, constructing a grand palace for himself and fortifying cities throughout the kingdom. Solomon's downfall. Despite his wisdom and success, Solomon's later years were marked by disobedience to God. In violation of God's commands, Solomon married many foreign women, accumulating 700 wives and 300 concubines. These women came from nations that did not worship the God of Israel, and they eventually led Solomon to worship their gods. Solomon built high places for these foreign gods, and his heart turned away from fully following the Lord. As a result, God became angry with Solomon and declared that the kingdom would be torn from his descendants, though not during Solomon's lifetime, out of respect for David. The end of Solomon's reign. Solomon reigned over Israel for 40 years. His reign brought Israel to its height in terms of wealth, culture, and influence, but his turning away from God planted the seeds of the kingdom's future division. After Solomon's death, his son Rehoboam succeeded him. However, due to Solomon's disobedience, the kingdom soon split into two, the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. The unified kingdom that David and Solomon had built was shattered, fulfilling God's word to Solomon. Legacy of Solomon. Solomon's legacy is multifaceted. He is remembered for his extraordinary wisdom, the building of the temple, and the prosperity of Israel under his reign. He is traditionally credited with writing much of the biblical wisdom literature, including Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Song of Solomon. However, his failure to remain faithful to God led to the downfall of the United Kingdom of Israel. In the Bible, Solomon's life serves as a warning about the dangers of turning away from God, even for those blessed with wisdom and success.